What I've been doing is reading and studying the bill. Reading and studying the bill. And that's frankly all I'm doing right now.
I understand President Bush called you?
I've had a multitude of calls and on this issue from diverse points of views, and which is important. I think it's important to listen to diverse points of views. But ultimately, what it will boil down to...
The president, I mean, if he's going to call you, he's probably asking you to vote yes, because he wants this plan to pass. How do you respond to it when he asks you for that?
I respond to everyone in the same way, which is my decision will be based on, again, I'm going to continue. I'm going to read this bill, study the bill, analyze the bill, and ultimately I'm going to make the decision based on not on phone calls, even though I appreciate them and it's important to understand and to listen to different points of views. But ultimately, when I make a decision, it will be based on what I think is the right decision for our country, for our families, for our middle class, for the people out there who have done nothing wrong and who are now being asked to pay almost $1 trillion because of the irresponsibility, the greed, and the poor decisions in Wall Street.
Senator Lindsey Graham yesterday said on the Senate floor, it's that you're choosing between a bad choice or a catastrophic choice. Are you afraid if you again vote no, you may be part of that catastrophe in the future? Or do you think the sky is falling and they're scaring you into a vote?
No, I mean, look, I think, unfortunately, Secretary Paulson has really done a huge disservice to the administration, but more importantly, to the country and to the economy. By originally, remember, he said if his bill didn't pass immediately as is, it was the end of the world. Well, the reality is that a better bill came out of that, still very flawed, still with huge problems. Then we were told by Secretary Paulson and others, if that bill didn't pass by Sunday, that it was the end of the world and that there was no other alternative and no other option. I'm actually very glad that I voted against that flawed, irresponsible piece of legislation. Now we have another shot at it, and hopefully, and I'm optimistic, and I'm hopeful that this bill that we're about to take up is a much better bill. Now, again, here are some of the problems. First place, we're not giving any options. We're not allowed to change it. We're not allowed to amend it. We're not allowed to make any changes. And that's problematic when you're dealing with something of this caliber, of this size, of this scope. And then we're being told that this has to happen, or else the sky will fall and the world will explode. I believe that it is in the best interest of the United States to get a bill passed to stabilize the economy. However, it has to be a bill that's responsible. It has to be a bill that will solve that problem by not causing much greater problems in the midterm and in the long term. And at this stage, I can't comment on that until I have the opportunity to finish reading this bill, studying this bill, and then I'll make that decision.
The additions or the improvements from the Senate, do they do anything for you as someone who voted no on Monday? Those sweeteners, did they perk your eyes up? Did you say, wait a minute, this could be something, this could be a game changer?
Look, there are some improvements there, and I'm glad to see that. But we're looking at $100 billion on top of a $700 billion bill. So I was about to say something about, you can put...
Yeah, something on the page.
Yeah, so I won't. I can't say that anymore. The reality is that's about $100 billion on an already $700 billion price tag. So as good as they are, my decision is not going to be based on some sweeteners. It's going to be based on how this bill, what this bill does to our economy, to the middle class, to our families, to those who have done nothing wrong, who are paying their bills, who are working hard to pay their taxes and to feed their families. And so that's the overriding consideration, not sweeteners, not additives, not minor tweaks, but overall, is this bill going to be good for our country, for our economy, and for our families in the middle class, or is it going to be just the opposite?
And I know you said you're still undecided, but is it something that you're going to wait till you go through the entire bill, go through all those pages, and then decide? Are you going to talk to the House leadership at all, get their take, or are you pretty set in how you're going to vote?
No, I mean, I think it's important it's important to make a responsible decision and to make sure that you have all the information, all the facts. Obviously, the first thing you have to do to get all the facts and all the information is to read the bill, to study the bill, and to understand exactly what's in that bill. It's also important to listen to others, to all different points of view as to their perception, their views, their opinions on how this bill will affect things one way or the other. And ultimately, I have a decision to make. I have a vote to cast probably tomorrow. And that vote will be cast after I get all the information, after I've studied, restudied, analyzed that bill, and I'm sure that I understand every aspect of it. Then I will make a decision based on what I think is right for the country. And when I talk about what's right for the country, it's what's right for families, small businesses, the man and woman who works hard every day to put food on their table, to make sure that their school, that their children get a good education, who pay their rent or then their mortgage on time, who play by the rules, and are not the ones who have created this problem in the first place.
You're up for re-election. Are you afraid that any way you vote, your opponent's going to spin it and say you voted for something that didn't help the people out?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been in Congress now not that long, 6 years. I spent a few years, as you know, in the state legislature. If you worry about what your opponent's going to say or not say, and then frankly you can't make any decision. I will base this vote, like I base all my votes, on what I believe is the right thing for our country, what's the right thing for our families, what's the right thing for the men and women who pay taxes, who play by the rules, and who frankly make this country the greatest country in the world. No, I'm not. I guess at this time of the year, people will criticize me no matter what I do, and that's fair and that's fine. All I know is that I'm doing my homework. I will know. Again, I'm studying this bill. I'm reading this bill, and I will make the decision based on what I know is the right thing to do for our country.